Hello everyone, and welcome back to week 83 of our Minecraft Let's Play series. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing very well this fine week. And I'll be entirely honest with you, I have no idea what we are actually going to be doing this week. I usually have a plan going into it, and I kind of do for this week, but everything is very general to an extent. And things that I have written down in this book may not even happen. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. Here's our to-do list. It's a lot longer than it usually is, and like I said, it's because we're probably not getting to it. I just wanted something that I can grab to if I decide. But let's go through the list. As per usual, villager hall, more masons, and question mark. We're gonna hopefully actually trade with villagers this week instead of like last week where I completely messed that up. We have new nether room here. I don't know what nether room I'm thinking. It might be the mining hole. It might be the witch farm. It might be one that I've completely forgotten exists. But we have these here. Base decoration. I'm thinking possibly about doing a waterfall fix or a library or both. Who knows? Again, this depends on what I decide. Then here's one of the ones I'm more wanting to do. I've noticed that, like I said, it's week 83, meaning we've got about 20-ish weeks before we actually get to our 2-year anniversary of this series, which doesn't seem like that's that close, but that does usually sneak up on me. So one of the things I said I wanted to do for the end of 2 years, or wanted to have done by the end of 2 years at least, was having our final achievements done, which currently, if I remember correctly, is just the achievements for Furious Cocktail and How Do We Get Here, both of which being the effects. So preparing for this would probably be a good idea. Then we have possible work on the jelly statue, again not sure. Possible work on the mining village, which I've also kind of neglected for a while, but again I'm not sure. And then a possible drown farm, which the thing with that at the moment is the design I'm looking at takes all these materials here, so I'm not sure, but we will see. However, for now, the first thing on the agenda that I know is a constant is we can go ahead and work on our villager hall. So let's go ahead and head to our nether portal, and once that we are actually through the portal, we'll go ahead, obviously head over to the villagers. And there's actually a small change that I don't think I've talked about yet from last week, and that is due to the fact that we have changed our nether portal room for the villager hall. You may be wondering how the way that we're going to be inputting these guys is going to work because, well, it's not a completely closed off area, at least anymore. So we'll just go ahead and send them over. And this is currently how I have it set up. We have the track still going through here, but now it goes up. They won't suffocate because this is a slab and a fence. But the minecart actually might not go through here, I just realized. Oh, it did. Cool. And yeah, they just get thrown right into here. Break this. And then we just go and pick up the other ones. The other 7 that we are missing. And now that all of the villagers are here, we're going to go ahead and actually take these 2 and throw the stonecutter here, kind of like how we did last time, so that we can get one of these guys to trade. And then the way we're going to do it is different from how I decided to last week. We'll go ahead and grab everything that I'm going to need for his trades. Trade the, not that much. Trade the bricks with him. And also, actually, now with how he is at the moment, I'd like to get him out of here. And we'll stop him right about here. And then we could do the other trades with him. Diorite. And he has gray and green, which is not the colors we need. I believe we need light blue is the one we're missing. Yeah, we're missing light blue. So my theory at the moment is if I take him out here, that won't mess up any of the other trades. Yep, that one's fine. And this guy is fine. Yep, alright, so that's how we're going to be doing this. Turn this guy into another one we're looking for. Do the exact same trade with him. Send him through. And I'm going to repeat, and hopefully we'll get a light blue trade. Alright, this guy is black and brown, so not needed. I also should actually probably check to see what rock types they can have, because I don't remember. This way, if they don't have a rock trade that I can use, then I don't have to waste my time trying to trade with them. Alright, this guy has diorite and dripstone, which are stone trades that I'm willing to risk, and now he has pink glaze and cyan. So now, this guy has polished andesite, so he's already out because we already have max polished andesite. This guy also has polished andesite, so he's also not staying, which worries me because I think we've only got 3 more villagers left now. This guy has diorite and polished diorite, both of which are actually acceptable, so throw that in to get him fully up. Magenta and then another quartz. Alright, you had a chance there, but you completely blew it. Alright, andesite and dripstone. cobblestone. That is fine. So we'll go ahead and do that. Pink and magenta. What is with magenta glazed at the moment that they've just been doing that all the time? We've got one more villager, by the way. So this isn't looking good for this week. And polished andesite. Darn. All right. I was expecting at least one out of the 8. And then we'd have to worry about getting the correct rock trades for, you know, whatever would work. But apparently I do not have luck when it comes to that kind of thing. At least this was a better, you know, attempt than last week where I completely just couldn't do any of the villagers because I messed up. But oh well, this is going to happen because of the fact that we are literally just aiming for one type of terracotta at this point. So this was bound to happen, but oh well. We only need one more spot left, and it's being a very, very stubborn one though. But I digress. Now we're going to go ahead and head back to our base, and we're going to get started on, well, whatever I feel next that was on that long list. So I will see you guys back there. And what I've decided to now pick from this list is number 4, actually, which is preparing for our final achievements. Now, just for those who don't know, there was a time back, I think, in the first few weeks of this series where I decided to just go ahead and grab basically as many advancements, I call them achievements, but they're called advancements, that I could get. And as you may see, well, some of these are actually gone. I didn't even realize this, because, well, I've had to revert the advancements, so I guess that's something I'm gonna have to do eventually. So originally the advancements we need to work on were a furious cocktail and how did we get here. And for those who don't know, there is currently 33 effects that you need to get for how did we get here, and here they are. You have absorption, bad omen, blindness, that I just realized I spelt wrong, conduit power, darkness, Dolphin's Grace, Fire Resistance, Glowing, Haste, Hero of the Village, Hunger, Infested, Invisibility, Jump Boost, Levitation, Mining Fatigue, Nausea, Night Vision, Oozing, Poison, Raid Omen, Regeneration, Resistance, Slow Falling, Slowness, Speed, Strength, Trial Omen, Water Breathing, Weakness, Weaving, Wind Charge, and Wither. Now, that's a lot, obviously. There's a lot there to unpack, but some of those are not going to be as bad as others. Specifically, here's the list of things that we are actually going to need. We're going to need a conduit, which I'm pretty sure I have the materials to make one if I haven't already. Ominous bottles, we need 1 level 1 to get Hero of the Village, and then we need 3 level 5s to get the Raid Omen, Bad Omen, and the Trial Omen to last a while. We also are going to need some potions, specifically Infested, Weaving, Oozing, Wind Charging, Slowness, Slow Falling, and Weakness. We're going to need a Wither Rose for Wither, obviously. We're going to need an Enchanted Golden Apple for the absorption effect. Then we're also going to need a Pufferfish. This will get us, I believe, Poison, Hunger, and Nausea. Spectral Arrows will get us the Glowing ability. The Suspicious 2, we need to create a Blind one. Then we're going to need to get 5 beacons for their 6 effects, the Resistance, Regeneration, Strength, Haste, Speed, and Jump Boost. And that's going to require 240 gold blocks to build those 5 beacons. And this is 2 prismarine. I didn't finish typing this out. Apparently we need 24 prismarine blocks to fully power the conduit. And these are the easy things. We actually need to go ahead and gather some hard things as well in the time, because like I said, I want to get this done before the end of year 2, and that is 20 weeks from now. So I thought, all right, better time to get started, because these 7 things here might take those 20 weeks, because what we need is we need a dolphin for Dolphin's Grace, Shulker for Levitation, a Shrieker for Darkness, an Elder Guardian for Mining Fatigue, the Trial Chamber obviously for Trial Omen, a Raid for the Hero of the Village, and then the Villager for the Raid Omen. That is to my knowledge. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be mainly focusing this week on the easy one. So we need to start seeing if I have all these items. Starting off, do I have a conduit somewhere, or at least the ingredients to make a conduit? I do actually. We have a 6 Heart of the Seas and 8 Nautilus shells. So we'll go ahead and make our conduit, and that is one thing off the list. Then over here we've got our ominous bottles. I said we wanted 1 level 1 and 3 level 5s. Simple. We also had our farm for these ominous bottles, so that wasn't a worry. Now on our potion wall, what do we have here? We are probably going to need to go ahead and work on brewing a little bit of these, so let me go ahead and pull out a brewing stand, because we're going to need to make these splash potions. And actually I just realized there's 4 potions that I missed that we also need. We need invisibility, water breathing, fire resistance, and night vision. I should still have some of those, but you know what, I don't know anymore. So here are all the potions, but I need to go ahead and brew them to being both longer as well as being a throwable potion, so give me a moment. And I also need to go ahead and brew more slow falling potions, so we'll do that as well. Alright, there is all of our potions that we're going to need to use, and you may have noticed that I do have a little gap here. That's just because these are supposed to be used at 2 different times in the whole process, so because these at least get up to 8, and then you have these being, well, 3 or 4 minutes, so these get used before this. Now I'm wondering if we have a wither rose in here, which we do, because we're gonna need one of those. Enchanted golden apples you might think is hard, but I've gotten so many from doing ancient city runs, so we have enough just to kind of throw into here. Pufferfish, I guess I'll have to go to our fish farm, but spectral arrows I know we have. We'll just grab a stack of those, throw them in here. The suspicious stew, to make the blind version, all we need to do is take 2 mushrooms, take an azure bluet, if I have one, I do, thankfully. Take bowl, craft it here, and this one will give us blindness, which is what we need. For prismarine, we should be able just to take this stuff. Like I said, we need 24 prismarine. Just take a bunch of this, craft all that, and that'll give us a fully powered conduit. And now I believe from our easy list of things to do, all we are missing is 5 beacons, 240 gold blocks, which we can easily get from our gold farm, and the pufferfish. So I suppose now we go ahead and fight 5 withers to go make 5 beacons. So let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I can go back to our base to make those 5 beacons, just like so. And now all we need are the pufferfish and the gold blocks in here, which I'm gonna go grab the pufferfish first, because that's gonna take less time. Because through this portal right here, we have our very own fish farm that I barely use at the moment, because, well, I never got the fisherman trades, and that's exactly what this was for. So yep, just go around here, grab a stack of pufferfish, and we can leave. And now we can go ahead and farm at our gold farm over here for, well, a little while, because it is going to be 4 stacks of blocks about that we need. So I will go ahead and grind that on my own time. And now with all the gold that we have collected, we are going to spend my time going ahead and turning them into 240 blocks, or at least hopefully 240 blocks. Alright, there we go. That is 240, and I may have gone a bit overkill because, well, so I have this chest, and 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 a little bit in this one. Not to mention I also put the gold ingots I crafted into here, so yeah, that was about 20 minutes, so whatever. We got all of our items. I'm getting tired of this experience noise. Let's go back to our base. Because I believe for now this is all that we need item-wise. Not building things, but just like the specific effects. This is what we need. I don't think I'm missing anything. I'm gonna hope I'm not missing anything, but if I am, I will fix that at some point. But for now, that's all we're going to do in the realm of working on that achievement. So now we're gonna work on a new nether portal room, and this nether portal room is going to be a nether farm, just like the spider farm that we worked on. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab some materials here, and I'll meet you guys over where that farm is. And here we are at our witch farm. This is where we are going to be building the new portal room. Now, if you remember, the way I had decided to do these portals, just to keep them consistent, was that I would go ahead and make these rooms be a 15 by 15 if they were farm, and we're going to keep it that way. But we're also going to go ahead and try and line it up with this tower so that the 3 by 3 portal is in line line with this because it would just look more aesthetically pleasing. So of course we'll go ahead and rip up this portal just like so, and then go ahead and place the new portal in line with that. And I'm actually going to do this differently this time. We're going to start off with the pillars first. And now that we have our pillars, we're going to go ahead and connect them at the bottom. We'll go ahead and place down the floor. And now we can go ahead and work on the walls. Then remember, I should probably add carpets to the ground to stop any mob spawning. I'll go ahead and connect the oak up here, and then we're also going to connect them across like so. So we get this little hatch pattern that I can go ahead and put our soul lanterns down onto. Get up to the roof very, well, let's just say I need to go ahead and break those later. And now we actually build the roof. And the nice part about this roof is that because it's made out of stairs and bottom slabs, nothing can spawn on top of here. And now we can get to work detailing the corners of this room. This corner is going to be very simple. It's going to have 5 red mushroom blocks as well as 3 brown mushroom blocks just for a pile of mushrooms. This corner is going to be a little bit different. It's going to have some dark oak planks along with some cauldrons, which I'm going to fill up both of these cauldrons with water. We'll go ahead and plant a little potted plant here with a warped fungus. Throw down 3 brewing stands here, which I'm going to go ahead and just randomly fill with some water bottles. So it kind of looks like they're brewing something, but they're not actually. It's just for decoration. Then we'll head over into this corner and throw down 6 barrels that kind of look like storage. And then finally throw down some more dark oak planks here and cover over this entire corner with these decorated pots. I guess for more storage? I'm not too sure. But what I am sure about is this is now done. All we gotta do is light this portal, just like so, and also make sure that this actually takes us back to the original portal on the overworld, which it does, thankfully. So now we can head back, and that means just like that, another one of our nether portal rooms are done. If you couldn't tell, I tried doing something that kind of resembles a witch's hut. Like I said, kind of, because, you know, the dimensions are going to be wrong, but I also went ahead and threw in some dark oak. The witch's hut usually doesn't have dark oak, so yeah. It's not a one-to-one, obviously, but it is working for what our builds usually are. But I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and for something that I also kind of whipped up together within about, I would say, maybe 20 minutes, I'm pretty happy with it. But now, let's head back once again to our base, and we shall get started on the last thing that I want to do this week, because we are running out of time. So I'll meet you guys over at our base. And that last thing is that I would like to get started on a new building right here. We've built this platform a while back, if I remember correctly, and it's not been getting used, so why don't we change that? I want to put a new building right here. I'm not entirely sure what the use will be for it, but I was kind of thinking that we might use it for a library, though I'm not sure. Though what I am sure about is that this building process will probably be very similar to us building those nether portal rooms, so you'll kind of get to see it be built the same way as I would show building those other things. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead first and clear out all these torches just because, well, I'm gonna need all the floor space I can get. And here are the ingredients we'll be using for this build. We'll only be building the interior and exterior. We won't be decorating it at the moment because I don't have time for that this week, but this should do. It'll be kind of like the windmill that one week. We built the outside and then we'll build the inside. Starting with the floor, here is the basic layout that we're going to be using. I know it looks very, very strange, but I promise this is what we need. Then as per usual, here are the posts. I had to actually go ahead and expand the floor once because, well, I realized that I had messed up by counting, so there's now an extra block here. But this is how the floor layout should be. Then next is the first floor walls, while I also built the pillar that we're going to be using for a spiral staircase to get up to the second floor. Next thing is to go ahead and build the roof of the first floor or the floor of the second floor right above us, just made out of the exact same material as the floor below us. And now we get to build the spiral staircase that goes up very trickily in some places because there was no place to, you know, actually place that slab. But we just come up like this, and there we are on the second floor already. Place a trapdoor like this so that there is a railing, and we're going to do a similar pattern up here for the wall, just like that. And that's what it looks like when it has a roof on it. But we are not done. We've got a couple more things that we need to do to it, which on the inside, the first thing we need to do is go ahead and place down some birch for the roof that is capable of being placed down, and adding some lighting in the corners as well as one into the stairwell. We'll go ahead and place an enchanting table here because, as you could probably tell, this was a spot for an enchanting room, kind of delegating this to be the library no matter what I decide to make it. And to make this place a little bit more accommodating when you walk up to it, we're going to make a little bit of a canopy out here, or just something to kind of block out the rain with the entrance. And we're going to call that outer shell done. It's kind of weird because, in all honesty, unless I look at it like this, it's kind of hard to tell that it's there for me, even though it is behind the background. It's just kind of made out of the same pillars and stone that I've been using. And you might notice that I haven't used any copper, and that was because, well, the copper just didn't look good in that build, but who knows, I might go ahead and throw some into it. And then if we decide to go on into the inside, you'll see that it's also very bare still. Of course, he's got the enchanting table, and this will be filled with 2 stacks of bookshelves, but the truth of it is that is really all that is here currently, and that is because I do want to decorate this place. I just don't have the time this week, so that's going to have to wait, because now that is actually going to have to be the end of the episode for this week. I know, shocking, but it's not like we didn't get anything done. Obviously, we went ahead and tried to put more masons in, failing, but not failing as bad as last week. Then we went ahead and prepared for finally working towards our how do we get here advancement, as well as the Furious Cocktail that we'll be getting at the same time, which that is going to be a weekly thing now as well. We also went ahead and worked on the Witch Farm's nether portal room, which I'm quite happy about. Also moving the portal so that was actually in line with the farm's chamber. And then we got to work on this nice little library, at least the shell of it, that I think for next week we will be working on decorating this just like we did with the windmill. Now, of course, we didn't get to things like the drowned farm that I wanted to work on, as well as I said we could work on the mining village and the Delhi statue, but I also did say that those were things that we might not touch upon. However, in the near future, I would like to work on the drowned farm and also possibly work on a resin farm in the future, because there is a new design that I want to test out, but it does take up 80 creaking hearts. However, if I decide to go ahead and farm a little bit of resin by hand, we can easily make creaking hearts, which I didn't know was a thing though. But yeah, that is a future plan, and we will hopefully get around to that within either the next week or the upcoming weeks. But for now, that's going to be it. I thank you all for watching. You guys all take care, have a great week, and I'll see you guys hopefully in week 84. Alright, take care. Bye bye.